This one's a tough one. Goats. Now we know full well that it is far beyond feasible or viable for probably 99% of Saitlanders to have a herd of goats. But if nothing else, maybe this will just serve to stimulate your thinking. Because if you can get it right, if you're that one guy who can get it right, the family that has a herd of goats, let's say 20 goats, producing on average between 2 and 3, sometimes 4 kids a year per nanny, with only one billy with a harem of 20 nannies, producing between them as many as 60, 70, probably not 80 kids a year. Do you know what you can do with that? How you can expand that herd? Goats are a pain in the neck. Anybody who's ever farmed goats will tell you that. I'm talking now about conventional goats, boerbokke, not, Angora goats. Not goats that have some special name before the word goat, like Swiss goats or milking goats. I'm talking about goats, boerbokke. They're a pain in the neck. They're impossible to manage. They break everything. They eat everything. But they're hardy. They're not temperamental. They don't require a lot of tender, loving care. TLC, as we say in English. And they can produce a lot of meat for very, very little cost in times of crisis. Give it some thought. Use it. Don't use it. Okie dokes. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye. Item number 5 is chickens. Again, not easy for everybody, but worth thinking about. Imagine you're in a camp and there's a shortage of food, and somehow, by some miracle, either because you transported them with you, or you bought them when you got there, or you left them in somebody's care for an extended period of time beforehand, chickens are productive in terms of eggs. Obviously, it depends on the sort. We all know that. And they can provide meat. And as anybody knows who's ever been in black rural areas, they survive just fine without chicken feed. They are able to take care of themselves by and large by scratching in the dirt for grubs and seeds and caterpillars and who knows what all. It's not equally possible for everybody, but it's certainly worth thinking about, I think. Item number 6 on our list of items to have, things that you might not have thought of, is printed encyclopedia. Do not underestimate the value that your peers, the people around you, will attach to knowledge of coping with the difficult circumstances that we find ourselves in the traditional knowledge that people used for centuries and centuries before, let's say, the middle of the 20th century. It's only been now for about 70 years, plus or minus, give or take, that we have been able to divorce ourselves from the practical solutions that most households had to engage in on a daily basis. Now we buy substitute solutions off the shelf, or we buy highly refined solutions, again off the shelf, highly refined substitutes is what I'm trying to say. Printed encyclopedia, and there are many of them. You can find many on the internet. Trust me. Go to a website called survivalistblogs.com. What's it called? Survival blog. I can't think, but there are so many of them that it doesn't matter that I can't think of the name. Just Google them. On those websites, you will find that people have got many of those, sorts of encyclopedia there, and printed encyclopedia, printed out, that you can read to find out how to fix a boil, how to help a bad tooth, how to clean a dirty floor, how to get rid of smells and stains, and how to make this and produce that, and how to manufacture soap, and how to dye clothes, and so on and so forth. The list is just endless. Go and have a look. You will never regret doing it. Thanks, guys. Cheers.